It's time for a full driving review of the VW Golf facelift, all about the updated changes and how good is it now. With Thomas now to go through in 4K, full screen, full length. Let's go with the front here now with the illuminated front logo, and you can even see this in daytime, even better of course at night and so on, but pretty cool together with this light unit that has the stripe right here, horizontal way. So you have a base LED that does not include the illuminated logo. Then you have the LED plus headlamps. They are usually included then in the mid trim, and optional, the IQ light. This is the matrix LED, we also have them right now. And the illuminated logo begins with the LED plus trim, but of course also included then in the IQ light. The IQ light only adds then the cascading turning indicators. That looks also pretty fancy, and also a special light show for the beginning and goodbye light. Again, very well to see then at night. Then towards the side profile, this is the hatch today, 4.28 meters or 169 inches. Of course, there's still the variant, the Estate, which is slightly longer and also slightly longer in wheelbase. This is, by the way, here the style trim, so a mid-trim level for you. 18-inch wheels. You start with 16-inch, then you have 17, 18 also possible, and if you go like GTI, R, also 19 would be possible. Then you have the typical Golf shape, which is always defined here by this very, very strong C-pillar right here. As for suspension, you have a base suspension, then you have a fixed sport suspension. You can also get a bad road suspension. And optional, also the DCC, Dynamic Chassis Control, a €1,000 extra. This is then the adaptive suspension. One of my favorite features is always here this flipping logo. The rear view camera is hidden underneath it, and it also works here to fold up the trunk. Here, especially when you have the turning indicators on the rear with the IQ light. Look at that here in this layer design, but then also together with the cascading form, that is something really spectacular, isn't it? For the key fob, we have the typical high gloss black stuff, I want to say. Door closing sound. Is it still Golf? Yeah, it is. The Golf started that actually, so yeah, both front and rear, nice door closing sound. Then inside of the doors. The top part here is slightly soft. Then we have in the mid-trim here this insert. Then microfiber, because we have the special style plus ergo-active seats. And then see here this like an emergency vest, nice felt covering on the inside of the doors. Yeah, BMW does not have that nowadays. And then the real buttons at the steering wheel, I like that too. We have real buttons. So at BMW they make a comeback now. Only the Golf R has the capacitive BS buttons still. All others then here with the real stuff. Then new digital cockpit, left side, and also infotainment up and on the right side. Zoom more to that. First of all, the seats. You get base fabric seats, but you can also go for these ergo-active seats. They have then microfiber on the inside and some fabric on the outside. So they are very beautiful, I feel, and ergonomics are also really good. And with the microfiber, it's also, let's say, extra cozy. You can put this lower thing here a little bit more out like this. And in this case, also the electric one, like with forward, backward of the seat. And this the electric lumbar support. And with 189, 6'2", I still have enough headroom left. Steering wheel control, manual, up and down, in and out. For the steering wheel, they have no animal alternative yet from the base source. Driver POV. Good control central here, where you can also change the view of the digital instruments. Different stylings are available, and you can also change the content on the inside, on the middle, for example, or here this map view, full screen, and you also get a head-up display like this. Also very good to see. And then if you look over, you see the new 13-inch screen, the bigger one. There's like a 10-inch screen as base available, and here these sliders, they are also illuminated at night now at least. And the cockpit overview here, soft touch dashboard, and then there's an ambient lighting integration between that. It looks actually quite fancy. Horizontal stress from these vents. Glove box here, also probably dampened, and nice sound when I also close that, like that. Once again, a view at these seats. You also have ISOFIX here on the passenger seat in the front. That's definitely also good to know. Then here this armrest, properly attached, space underneath. There's nothing more on the inside. You can also slide this here forward. Then you cannot close this here, but you can actually make it an open area, or then this cup holder. However, this is not holding things that tight, I have to say. Then a lot of high gloss black piano lacquer here. You have to clean it often with a microfiber towel. Then you have inductive charging pad here in the front with a cooling hole so it doesn't overheat. Then you have some hotkeys here to access the climate unit or the driving modes, but they're not that practical to hit. They don't give any feedback and so on. And so probably now, since you have this new 13-inch screen, it's maybe easier to hit it right here. Also here for the DCC, for the adaptive suspension, which you can individually configure then here now. That's also a quite good feature.
구독, 좋아요, 알림 설정 부탁해요.
You can also use these USB-C chargers or connectors if you don't want the wireless CarPlay or Android Auto connection. Rear seats, top part is here all hard plastic and so on, but we have nice covering at the inside of the doors. And in this trim, also here the microfiber at the inside of the doors. And we also have the microfiber seats at the rear. Isofix here, outsides. It also folds, you don't have that flying around and so on. In the middle part, you can fold down this cup holes, not adaptive though, and then stand here the ski hatch towards the trunk. You can use that. The comfort itself on the seats is actually very decent. So I like the comfort here. And the headroom here with 189 6'2" also fits. However, the legroom here in this Golf hatch version, yeah, that doesn't really work for tall adults. The Audi A3 and the Golf hatch has this short wheelbase then, and the Skoda Octavia, the Golf variant, and the Cupra Leon and the Leon ST, they have the long wheelbase version. Then you would have more legroom here in the rear. So that is the only catch then here with the Golf hatch. You have another climate unit here in the lower part for the rear seats and USB-C chargers in the lower part. Quick look at the trunk of the boot here, meter or 40 inches in width and 75 centimeters or 30 inches in length. Underneath there's more space, for example, also for a replacement tire. And here you can also put it up here. It's a nice solution, right? That it stays in place and you can maybe put some things underneath it. Or maybe groceries around the subwoofer, something like that. And folding 2/3, 1/3 split, or with the ski hatch then for the full. And here, see this small pictogram? Very interesting, right? So, should you forget, you can also put your hand underneath here, then when everything is dirty on the outside, then you can close the trunk like this. Under the hood, we have the 1.5 TSI turbo petrol engine. We also have it right here, 116 or 150 horsepower, manual or DSG automatic. Based on this engine is also the plug-in hybrid that has the biggest change with the facelift because it gets a new 20 kilowatt-hour net battery, so way more pure electric reach then, so that is, or range, that is very important. And then there's still the 2-liter TDI and of course the sporty model GTI and the Golf R. They are based on the 2-liter TSI turbo petrol engine for the biggest boost and best, yeah, like the best acceleration figures. German Autobahn. I will shift back to second gear. Yeah, manual shifting action for you here today. Sport mode. Woo! That was a nice ride with great shifting. Oh, and also great feeling on the brakes here. Yeah, I mean, so many vehicles are with automatic these days, and especially like the new vehicles we have then as test vehicles. I mean, in traffic situation and so on, it's always great to have an automatic, just cause just more comfortable. But this one here, like when you really hammer in the gears, that's lovely, isn't it? It's actually really thick, this shifting lever here. So we have the 1.5 TSI with the manual shifting today, 6-speed. The alternative would be a 7-speed DSG. The road is still totally dry, you know, it's just a little bit of rain in the air then. But noise insulation here at 100 kilometers an hour, 60 miles an hour is okay, but nothing really special. There, of course, if you think about, hey, maybe like thinking of Golf variant or versus Passat, there the Passat, for example, would be way more silent. Let me shift down back once again. Acceleration in third gear. Yeah, so power-wise, I think it's okay. There's also no power difference between here the manual and the automatic. It's around 8.5 seconds in the acceleration figure to 1 kilometers an hour or 62 miles an hour. So this is not the difference. It's more about then the shifting comfort, or if you appreciate shifting, then like this. When you have the DCC, you also have the more elaborated rear axle always. And here, comfort mode, of course, you get a little bit softer than in the dampening. You also feel that it also switches the steering input, and then it's a little bit too soft, I feel. But you see here, very small commands are transferred on the road. This one is also equipped with the optional progressive steering, €200 extra. In the sport mode, you have a little bit more feedback. And then I always do here the individual mode and configure it in a way that the DCC is most comfortable, but the steering is set on sport. So that way I have more feedback from the steering and I have a good control. Also when I'm doing some lane changes or something, and it's not overreacting. And at the same time, I have good comfort from the DCC, from the suspension. So that's to me my favorite setting. I really like to have this specific setting here in this combination. And here it's also very windy outside today. We have to mention that when we talk about the noise insulation and so on. It always depends on the conditions, but still I feel for a Golf that stands like for the great sound of the closing doors and so on, it should give us a little bit more NVH comfort, so like this noise, vibration, harshness. Here, of course, shifting back is always good when you can accelerate it out a little bit further. The cool thing about the Golf is it always gives you this really compact, sporty feel. Oh, it's a little bit of like whistle noise here from the side mirrors coming in at 140 kilometers an hour. So yeah, noise insulation is probably the thing that I'm least satisfied here with the Golf. Steering input, suspension comfort, that is really awesome, especially the suspension here with the DCC when you go for that one. Great comfort here, especially in this segment, and I feel that even to the premium competitors, the Golf here holds a very, very good place in the comfort of the suspension. Have to notice that. Consumption between 6 and 7 liters on 1 kilometer, so less than 40 mpg US, but a little bit more than 40 mpg UK. So the thing is, with the DSG, with the mild hybrid system, we could save some like a liter on 1 kilometer or have some 5 mpg more. So indeed, I would tend to go for the automatic version, although I had a lot of fun with the manual shifting here today, and I know you guys also really like it. The car as it stands here right now, equipped, is 44,000 euros, so not exactly double the entry price, but here in this mid-trim level, I think it's a quite nice configuration that you have the most important features like the IQ light, the matrix LED when you drive a lot of night, and the option DCC, that you have more suspension comfort and so on. So maybe the microfiber seats, but then the models above that, they tend to get really expensive. So the equipment that it stands here right now, this mid-trim, is also probably one that I would also advise for. What do you think about the Golf? Of course, the sporty models are yet to come. We already have them here in the facelift presentation, the GTI and the R.